to be on your screen today. I want to first of all say a very big thank you to um, all my real estate investors, my diasporan investors, my Nigerian investors, my Lagos-based investors, my Enugu, Ibadan, wherever you are across the world. I'm super grateful for all the support, and of course for those who have made the inquiry. I also want to say um, a very big thank you today. So today we are going to be discussing something that is very crucial, and I'm going to be talking about how to spot a good, location for um, a good real estate investment. And this is going to be a comprehensive guide for every real estate investors, whether you are investing for the first time or you are a real estate or a serial real estate investor. We're going to be talking about some things you should look out for, and of course, we're also going to be talking about some of the major loopholes that is also prominent in the industry. So today is going to be an extensive um, discussion. Once again, I want to quickly apologize for starting way late. It's due to some circumstances that are obviously beyond our control. So I'll be starting once I have more people join this video. So in case you are seeing this video, please try and call your friends, your associates, those who are free, and tell them that Property Matters live session is on. And I also want to say for those who have been supporting us, once again, I sincerely need to, extend, my heartfelt gratitude for what you people have been doing for us. We obviously did not take, these for granted, and we hope that you get to see more. And of course, we can't wait to, hand your next key to your dream apartment as soon as God gives you grace to do so. So today's own is going to be talking more about prediction, um, with categorically tell you that there are some important things that you need to understand, as an investor. And when I talk about, the reason why I'm making this video, basically, is due to the fact that even I myself, okay, I've been, I would say, I've been a victim, and that is why sometimes I will never ever do any form of real estate investment if I have not physically, inspected the project. So I'm going to be starting this video in soonest, and I'm also going to be explaining some fundamental things, okay, that is also needed. So, like I said, once I have 5 more people join this live session, I'm going to kickstart without wasting so much time. Thank you very much, and we'll just dive right at it. So, what I'm doing at the moment right now is that I'm trying to share this broadcast with somebody, with some of my real estate investors who may not be aware that I'm live. Okay, so I'm also doing that. So thank you very much for everybody joining. I really like what you people are doing, and I I appreciate your support. Now, why are we having this conversation? A lot of people have had some questions. Why are we having this conversation? Thank you very much, Ma. Welcome, Ma. So why are we having this conversation? Many people have tagged me as Ajala Travel. Not like I travel like um, the way many people have said it. But there is hardly a location, okay, in Lagos. Talk about Ikeja, talk about Yaba, talk about Surulere, talk about Akoka, talk about Bariga, talk about Palm Grove, talk about Egbeda, talk about Akunwojo, talk about Mushin, talk about Iyanosashi, talk about Ojo, uh, talk about Agbara, the Lasso side, the Unilag side. That's for the Lagos mainland. So I have been to several places, and I can categorically tell you, um, or categorically give you, an extensive overview of what these locations are, their present states, their future projection, and I can also categorically, okay, tell you what you should expect. We've been in this industry. It's not 1 year. It's not 2 years. It's not 3 years. Neither is it 4 or 5 years. So we have been in this industry for for quite some time. And when you talk about investing in Lagos, now there are some important things that you need to. I'm talking about how to spot a good real estate investment. Sorry, I apologize for that mix up. So, talking about investing, what are those basic things do I need to look out for? Because you see, the industry is very, very dynamic. I've seen instances whereby um, a lot of real estate developers are introducing innovation. They are putting in a lot of creative ideas. I talked about some real estate developers that I've worked with who will not just sell shortlets to you. I've seen real estate developers who will sell, who will help you manage, and they will remit your money on a monthly basis. That's some of the innovative ideas, okay, that I've discovered, and that is quite commendable because we are gradually moving past the era whereby you buy and manage by yourself. Now that is not to also undermine, okay, the option of buying and probably managing it by yourself. But in my experiences, from my discoveries, because I've said it before, I'm not just an ordinary real estate advisor. I'm a researcher. I'm a researcher. We spend money, we spend time going to locations, investing. So there are some things we know that we can be in a better position to advise you. This is the way things are. There was a particular property in the early 2018, 2019. This project dominated every social media. Talk about YouTube, talk about Facebook, talk about Instagram, and all those prominent social media. And of course, this property was the talk of the town. And there is no diasporan who is very, very conversant, with YouTube, who would say, okay, they have not heard or invested in this project. And I've said it before to every real estate investors that buying the property should not be the major priority. I've said it before. And the reason why I'm saying this is that Nigerians, we Nigerians, don't let me generalize, but I'm going to try as much as I can to be as detailed as possible. I've seen instances, okay, whereby projects that gained the social media recognition, that dominated the social media scene today, have become abandoned projects, and it's quite sad. It's quite sad. And when we come online and explain some of these things, it's due to the fact that it is very important that we understand some of these lapses so that we don't repeat these issues or these errors. Now, I'm going to be talking about some of the things you need to spot whenever you are investing in real estate, how to spot a good real estate investor. However, it is also important, okay, that I also explain some fundamental issues. So this project was the talk of the town. It dominated every social media scene. And there was a real estate investor, a diasporan, who bought into this project, okay? And she said, ever since she has gotten all her documents, and she was worried that this location, she wanted to know, okay, what is going on in that location. She wanted us to help her do what we call a location analysis to just know what is actually going on in that place. And 2 weeks ago, we decided to take a drive. We drove down to the location, and what I saw was how do I explain this now? I'm trying to find a better I would say a better phrase or a better adjective for me to describe what I actually saw. I was pained to the point that I was scared, okay, of giving a report of what I saw. And this has been some of the fate of some major projects in Lagos. And these are some of the things that every real estate investors must understand. When we got to that place, it was quite sad that the entrance gate, there was no security personnel at the entrance. That was not all. We found out that, in fact, on that day, I saw like 2 to 3 snakes in that particular estate. 2 to 3 snakes. So in places where you see reptiles, you see snakes, you see all these wild animal, it can only mean one thing. And what exactly is that thing? The project has been abandoned. So you definitely want to have an understanding, okay, of what is important. So because a lot of people used to put emphasis on the buying. Now the buying is very important. Investing is very important. It is as crucial, as getting the best deal. Every real estate investor certainly want to get the best out of any of their real estate investment. That is good. But the most question basically is that what are the important measures that is being put in place by the real estate developers in order to ensure that that particular project retain its value? Not just retaining its value, to also ensure, okay, that that project does not suffer either present or future abandonment. So our emphasis should be on how not, okay, to buy a project whereby I will have to, okay, regret that I even participated in this project in the first place. So as I talk extensively on this, okay, now a lot of people have been saying that I'm very, very selective, okay, when it comes to recommending developers or recommending properties. Now, for everybody that must have had our experience, for every experienced realtor, when I talk about experienced realtor, I'm talking about realtors, okay, that have integrity, realtors that have a reputation to protect. Many of them, okay, we attest to some of this information that I'm about to share. And what exactly are those things? The aftermath of every project you are investing in is very important. Because you see, if we don't discuss this, if we don't look at some of these things, okay, it will come to a level that many people will not want to invest in the Lagos real estate market. Not just because of the fact that they don't want to invest, it's just due to the fact that a whole lot of people have overpromised and they have under-delivered. So before we go further into discussing how to spot good real estate investment, then it is very important. Now, when I got to that location, I saw 2 reptiles, 2 snakes, 2 big black snakes in that location. Some part of the location was flooded, okay, and some of the buildings were dilapidating. So it means, like some of our engineers will say, the building need maintenance. Maintenance in the sense that a whole lot of work will have to be done on that project for it, okay, to retain its value. Now the question is, what exactly is the issue? What exactly is the issue? Buying, maintaining, retaining its value are 3 different things that many real estate investors won't pay attention to. So I'm coming here on this live stream today to guide you. If I should tell you the number of projects that were launched today is the 28th day of January. I got notifications and invitations for more than 6 projects that were launched today. Now, launching is not the issue. What is the long-term gain for that investment? And that is why I'm going to be talking extensively on not just spotting the location, but spotting the possibility of your project being abandoned in the future. Now, by the time I got to that location, I was sad. I could not make video for this particular diasporan because she has trusted me and she has given me all the necessary support by even calling before I could even get across to the developer, okay, that sold that place to her. It was a tug of war. And I've come online to talk about that. There are some real estate developers in Lagos need to do more in the area of customer service and the area of attending to projects that they sold in time past. When it comes to investing, most of these guys don't care of what becomes your investment, in as much as fact that they have gotten what they want from that project. And that obviously does not speak well of our industry. You guys are making it extremely difficult for we real estate practitioners to earn the trust of diasporan investors. So we need to talk about this. So spotting the location is very important, but avoiding a problematic investment is more crucial. So what are those fundamental things that we need to do? What should we pay attention to as a real estate investor? When I saw the project, I was there on Thursday. When I saw the project, I spoke with the owner of that property. And she told me that she bought that property in 2019. And from 2019, okay, till date, she only had one tenant. Now, it becomes so bad to the extent that, okay, that the tenant that was staying in that house was giving this particular property owner an impression that renting an house is like she's doing the owner a favor. And there were some things I saw, okay, that was really a turn off. Even as an investor, there are some things that I would definitely not get myself involved to. If I had known earlier, okay, probably this error would have been avoided in the first place. So what is now the issue? What is the problem? What are the important things? Number one, the house was abandoned. A lot of people that moved in. Some of the people that moved in, okay, and the way things are being done basically in Lagos is that for some of us who are familiar with the state of uncompleted structures in Lagos, like for instance now, if you have an uncompleted project and you have abandoned it for like maybe 2, 4, 5, 6 years, you have automatically opened that project for scavengers and vagabonds to be staying in your house free of charge. And I've seen instances whereby it is not always easy, okay, to drive those people away. More importantly, when you want to put that house in order, it is always very difficult. I've heard, different case studies, different scenarios of some of these guys even going diabolical, okay, to attack the house owner. So there are a lot of things that we have seen, but the question basically is, what do we do in situations like this? What do we do to avoid situations like this? Now, the first thing you want to do basically is that you want to prioritize what we call the integrity and the vision of that project. Now, I have witnessed different scenarios. I've had several instances where a lot of developers have promised heaven and earth. And some of the reasons why many people keyed into some of these projects, okay, is due to the fact that many of them promised Dubai in Lagos. And it's just quite unfortunate. So the question is, how do I avoid situations like this? You need to consult widely. You need to see the Lagos, in 2018, in 20 pattern that you are familiar with has undergone some rapid changes. Consulting widely basically does not just go into checking if that company is registered with CAC. It has gone beyond just saying, is that property, is the location good? Obviously, location is one of the key or a major determinant that determines if I'm buying that location, if I'm doing that location, which is very good. But it goes beyond that. You need to consult widely. Now, I have had several interactions. When I talk about interactions, I've said it before. I'm a real estate researcher. There are places I've been, there are things I know. And this experience and this knowledge that I've gathered, in my years of operation has made me to be very, very selective. When I talk about being selective, there are different kind of scrutiny we put a whole lot of real estate development to. Let me tell you some of the scrutiny we do. The code. Now, a lot of people are not aware, but I'm the only real estate practitioner who have even gone to the residents of some of these projects that these guys have built to find out their experiences. Now, the thing basically is that because of legal tussles, legal cases, we are trying to avoid court cases. That is why we don't put some of these experiences online. But there are some things we have seen, there are some things we have understood, there are some things we know that it depends our choice of recommendation. So if we are saying, let's deal with this person, so we consult widely, we go to their past projects, we go as far as even observing if there are structural or electrical defects on that property. Not the one they are building construction, the ones they've done in past. In fact, we go as far as getting what we call customer review. Some of my colleagues I've had interaction with some of my colleagues, and they told me in Yoruba, I'm going to interpret it in English. They said, meaning that the way I'm doing it, I will not blow as far as one of them, because you see, if I really want to be as big or as wide as most of them do, I really don't care about your investment, because that's what most of them do. What they just do is that by whatever happens between you and the developer, okay, is your business. But because of the fact that we have understood that relationship goes beyond just buying, we have a legacy to uphold. So the kind of scrutiny I do before I say to do recommendation, so we consult widely, we go to their past projects. Number two, we speak with our professionals. Like, for instance, there was a project. Now, the reason why we consult with our professional basically is that we look at the typology of what they are building. We look at the price at which they are selling. We do a whole holistic analysis to find out if the company will be stocked with the price at which they are selling. We even go as far as even checking the soil of which that building is standing upon. If there's somebody that can go to one site more than 5 times a day, I am that person. So we speak with our professionals, we ask them, okay, this guy is selling a 4-bedroom terrace in this location for, let's say he's selling for 50 million. So we speak with our engineers. Okay, engineer, this is the price this guy is selling. This is the situation of the place. This place is waterlogged. How realistic is this price? Will he be able to give quality delivery with this price? We do a holistic, like I said at the commencement of this video, we have left larger part of marketing to do larger part of research. There've been instances whereby a lot of people have personally messaged me and they said, this is a project I want to do, okay, and I want you to be involved. And I've said it, I'm saying it online, okay, they may be watching, and I've said, based off our interactions with some of professionals in this industry, with the process of demand and supply, with the clauses and of course possibility of inflation, with the political instability, this is the duration at which these guys wants to do this project. Now we will explain from our own research and our own visibility study if it is possible for that person to deliver. Now the reason why we're doing this basically is due to the fact that, trust me, it is stressful, very, very stressful to run after a developer that has abandoned a project. It is not always easy as they seem. It is not. You will understand that most of these guys are only loyal. They are mostly available when they want to collect money from you. The moment you have paid and there are issues, I'm talking from experiences. There have been instances whereby I have personally reported several real estate developers in court. There are some that our relationship has been strained. And the reason why we are doing this basically is because of the fact that we want to ensure that what happened to that investor does not happen to you. So we consult widely. We speak with professionals. We analyze, the situation of that place. And sometimes too, I'm always mindful of the topography, the soil texture of that place where the project is going on. Because with some of the pluses of minus and plus, interacting with some professionals, we have come to realize that it is more costly, okay, to build a waterlogged area than a normal dry area. So we do a lot of holistic overview. The next thing we also do is to investigate the source of financing of that project. Because PR is good, advert is good, making videos, inviting investors, doing a lot of things is good. The moment there is financial constraint from the side of either the developer or the investor, there is problem. You don't even need a soothsayer to tell you that there will be problem, and most times these problems are not easily resolved. There have been instances where I've reported several real estate developers, police. We've had to, use a lot of people. So when we now say that be careful, we should be the one advising or even doing our own recommendation on why you need to be careful. So we investigate the source of financing. Now there are some real estate investors who approach mortgage banks, who approach commercial banks to secure loan. And that's why you will understand that when they are drafting a payment plan, like a lot of diasporan investors have reached out to me and they've said, I want to do 1 year payment plan, and this developer is putting 5 million. Some will say, I want to do a 1 year payment plan. This developer is putting 3 million as interest. This is too much. I don't think I can take this. Now, let me quickly explain the reason why. This is obviously not a justification for the pricing, but from our field of experience and from what we have come to discover, okay, some of these banks, these commercial banks, these mortgage banks, and every other banks, that loan these real estate developers money, okay, to build this project, is that one of the challenge, okay, that we have in real estate in Nigeria is that bank gives loan with high interest. They give loans with high, and that is why it has become almost impossible, okay, for every real estate developers to get loan. These loans are very, very hard to pay back. So these are some of the things you want to look at. So we look at developers that are building with loans. Some have collaterals, and I've also seen real estate developers too, okay, who also partner with some of their friends abroad. I've been talking with some diasporan investors who said, Nigeria is finished. There's insecurity, there's this, blah, 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 blah. I now, after I allowed this particular investor to talk, he told me, I don't think, I now gave him a scenario of a project that was recently concluded. Sorry, I said conclude. That was recently concluded in the VGC area. And I told him that from my research, from my personal investigation, this particular developer, okay, was able to finance and complete that project based on some of the loans he got from some of his friends who are in diaspora. So some people are telling you, okay, that Nigerians abroad are not investing back home. With all this Trump policy on immigration, it's the America one we are seeing that everybody is talking about now. Who knows what will happen in other countries of the world? So you saying I don't want to own in Nigeria, it's not a smart move. So I was explaining to this particular director said, how am I so sure? I said, okay, fine. Speak with this person, just have an interaction, and this thing that I've told you, okay, can be verified. So I found out that there are some developers who are here, okay, who are in Nigeria, who source funding from investors abroad. Why do you think some real estate companies comes to the UK, comes to Canada to do exhibition, to do talk show, do investors dinner? Do you think they come because they have money to spend around? These guys have come to source for fund. So when they do most of these interactions, in fact, there are some diaspora who get to meet, the developers they've been buying properties from the first time. I know several companies that comes to UK, US, Canada, mention those top developed countries. So these guys come to do seminars, to do summits. They do meet and greet, meet Nigerians. So this was how this developer was able to realize fund, and they built an estate, a full serviced and functional estate in VGC. So if you still believe that Nigerians are not investing in Nigeria, I want to say it categorically that you are being deceived. You are being deceived. A lot of people are investing not small, massively in their homeland. So there are some. So we investigate the source of funding. We investigate it. If it is bank, we look at it. So that is why sometimes real estate companies, by the time your payment plan exceed 3-6 months, be rest assured that the interest for that 6 months, for that 1 year payment plan, will be between 3 million to 5 million. And the reason for that is based on the fact that these companies that are, these banks that are borrowing these companies, they are borrowing those loans. So when you want to subscribe into an estate, this developer will also factor this loan into the payment plan, so that it will be a situation whereby everybody takes part of what repaying that loan. So we investigate the source of funding. The next thing we also investigate whenever we are making recommendations, basically, is that we also investigate the environment. Your investment is as profitable as the environment. And when we look at the environment, what are those key things we look out for? We look at location. Last 2 weeks, my car was vandalized. And the situation here is not a funny one. Hello, mommy. Sweetheart, go and stay with mommy in this room. I'm coming. My car was vandalized. The brain box was removed. The keys that wind up things were removed. Everything was. So that's why sometimes I've not been able to do a lot of videos this week, because we are just trying to see how we can fix the car and get back to work as soon as we can. These are some of the things we look out for. What is the security situation of that place? What is the security situation? How safe? You see, the difference between a place, there's an estate in the Lekki Scheme 2, the Abraham Sonia Okumbo axis, where 2-bedroom flats, 2-bedroom apartments is being rented for 4 million. Do you know that if you go to other places of GRA, that 4 million will rent you a 4-bedroom duplex? I'm telling you the facts. Now, so what is now the difference between these two locations? The class. Before you can enter that particular location, the security check will go through. The security check, the scrutiny at the gate, the surveillance at the gate is very mindful. So when we are making recommendations, we look at
the security, we investigate. Is this place open to? In fact, even the most prominent of all, basically, is that I try as much as I can, okay, to avoid my clients buying or owning apartments to where all these internet fraudsters that many people call Yahoo resides. You see, because the kind of environment those guys create for house owners, I know a lot of people that have to sell their houses, okay, because they were neighbors with all these internet fraudsters. Sometimes their friends can come around, they smoke all sort of weed, they drink, the party, and they disturb the peace. And sometimes, if you are trying to caution these guys, they will tell you, you are a landlord, I'm also a landlord. So these are things. So what are the calibers of people that are residing in that location? And that's why sometimes a 2-bedroom in Abramade Sonya or Gombo right now is being sold for 75, 72 million. But you see that 75, 72 million may get you a fully detached somewhere in the later part of Ibeju Lekki. What is the difference between that 2-bedroom apartment and that duplex? It's the class, the scrutiny, the security situation, the surveillance. These are what adds beauty. So we look at and investigate the kind of security system that the developer wants to put. So sometimes I've had different experiences where explaining this to some diasporan investors, because you see, the class, the quality, the environment, okay, of where your property is located would determine the actual value. Because you see, a lot of people have been saying, why are people rushing the Pinnock Beachwood estate in Lekki? Don Jazzy resides there. I also learned that Burna Boy has house in its Pinnock Beach estate, and a lot of celebrities also have houses there. So how much do you think they will rent an apartment in Pinnock Beachwood estate? That's what class is. And we have also come to realize, okay, that not everybody have the financial capability to give you that class. And that is why we scrutinize. So all these, okay, are the basic things we put into consideration before we make recommendations. It's very, very tasking. Yes, it is. It is. Sometimes you want to check survey, you want to go to Alausa lands to do a lot of research, blah blah blah. And in presence of doing this, we spend money. And like about money, I'm not talking about small money. Spend big money. There was a particular month where I calculated the amount of money we spent on due diligence. It was close to 500,000 naira. Why? Because we don't want you to have issues. Because for some of us who have dealt with stubborn developers, trust me, we don't want to have any we don't want to have those experiences happening at a regular interval. It can be draining, it can be frustrating, it can be tiring. So we look at all of these things before we make recommendations. And there have been instances whereby some investors will say, this is the person I want to buy from. Oh, my friend is buying the okay, so I am thinking, fine, if that should be the case, I'm washing my hands of it. I know a colleague of mine who may be willing to assist you further, but this is not to say that when there are issues in the future, you will say I was the one that introduced you to the person that took you there. So sometimes I washed my hand, I said, to God be the glory. Go and meet whoever can help you. Because you see, if you have gone through situations where you have to spend money to get results, you will understand that you can't deal with everybody as far as real estate is concerned. So how do you spot interesting locations in Lagos? Number one, I'm going to explain this in two different dimensions. Now, spotting the location is now dependent, okay, on what you want. Because you see, when we talk about locations, our choices and preferences is relatively different. So what this person may consider, okay, as a preferable real estate investment may be something that may not interest another person. Now, for land banking, if your choice of real estate investment is land banking, the first thing you want to do there, if you want to spot a good location, is that you need, sorry, let me put this on silent so that it doesn't interrupt us. So you need to understand government plan for that location. You need to understand government plan for that location. This is not a factor whereby my friend has bought there, I must buy there. Many people are running to that location, I must run to that location. If it is land banking, find out the project that is there. And in most cases, I don't recommend places where I have to drive 2, 4, 3 hours before I get to that location. Because if the places that are closer to us, okay, is having bad roads, imagine you that you are not driving 3, 4, 5 hours to where that land banking investment is. It's just like you are just, a lot of people said, my father bought land for 10,000. Now the land is worth 100 million. Now, the people that is giving you those assertions, that are giving you those explanations, did not go further to tell you that the father, okay, had to do a lot of things, perfecting title, putting infrastructures, and not waiting for government. The only thing you want to hear is somebody bought for 10,000 and selling for 100 million, but you did not go further to dig to how long it took for that place to develop. What are the structures that were pulled down by government before that place became accessible? So these are reasonable questions that you want to look out for. So number one, infrastructure. Any place that is undergoing road expansion, okay, regional road, circular roads, that place obviously is a hotspot location for investment infrastructure. However, when we I'm sorry. Now, when you did now say there is a road that is coming on there, project that is going on there, then you also want to go further to look at how accessible, because you see, when they say government is doing road, government will not do road that will lead to your house. I think I did a video, okay, where I was talking about why some part of Ibeju-Lekki has not reached its own development peak. If you have not seen that video, I think on the comment section, I'm going to pin that video or just drop the link so that you can see. There are some places today in this our Ibeju-Lekki that if it rains consistently, you will need a canoe to get to your house. You will need a canoe. There was a particular place I was residing. Whenever it rains like this, I'll go and park my car in the in my church, because my church is in the main town. I will not, in fact, I will now go and I have a bike man. There are some rains that once it rains like this, even bike or motorcyclists, all those people normally called Okada, will not work on that day. So there are people that their job is they will help you, they will back you to cross that water and you pay them. So when they talk about road, we don't need to generalize that because there is road, every other places in that place also will grow or will develop in accordance to that road. You need to understand basically that what government focuses on is the road that will make movement of people from their house to their place of work. Government will not do road that will enter each streets. So we need to understand that. So when there's a road construction, is a good place, is a good sign that that place is a hotspot for real estate investment. That's number one. When there's a good rule. However, know where that road starts, know where it ends, and focus your investments there. Number two, where there are high working class people residing. I want to talk about working class. I'm referring to the caliber of people that are residing there. And one of the ways you can easily identify that, okay, is for you. See, I'm going to put this to you, every real estate investors watching this video. And I stand to be corrected. But the rate at which real estate development has gone now, if your realtor or your representative, if the job of your representative is just to sell and go away, I would advise that you start working with a realtor that will be available to follow through. I'm not saying you should leave your realtor and work with me. If that's what you want to do, if your heart says, okay, I like what Adejare is doing, I want to work with him, fine and good. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is that there are some properties that I have been managing since 2021. There is no day I don't go to site. In fact, to the level of door, I monitor how doors are installed. I go. So what I'm trying to say basically is that somebody who is active. Now, when we talk about activities in real estate, there are people that their own job is just closer. They close you, you collect your documents, boom. Everybody goes their own way. Fine. There are people like that. But there are some transactions that you don't need somebody that will just close, that will sell and go away. You need somebody that will be available. Available to ensure some things are done, some things are gotten on your properties. So we have property we've been managing since 2018, 2021, 2023, and 2024. And trust me, we are readily available. So the reason I'm saying this basically is that the experience of your realtor will help you to identify a profitable location. And one of those profitable locations is look at places that are emerging residential areas. Those places are hot spots for real estate investments. Emerging locations. And somebody that does not research, that does not investigate, that does not inquire to know, there is no place you will call me and you ask for rental prices. I will tell you even without looking at books. Because we've done our own level of research to the point that we can accurately tell you what is being charged in some locations. So that is how vast. So when it comes to real estate consultancy, we may consider ourselves as colleagues, but in terms of experiences, expertise, and problem solving, we are not the same. We are not the same. I can categorically tell you this online. We are not the same. So these are some of the things. So imagine locations. Imagine residential locations. Residential locations. The moment you notice that location is emerging, and how do you know emerging locations? Locations whereby when we have 5, 4, 6 projects going on concurrently at the same time. Trust me, that location is fantastic. These are some of the places where we have bigger infrastructure. The reason why you will sweat, okay, to get a 2-bedroom standard. When we talk about 2-bedroom, we have standard 2-bedroom, we have old house, and we have executive 2-bedroom. So 2 bedrooms are not in the same categories. They are not in the same category. So I need to explain that. The reason why today Abraham Adesanya Ogumbo Axis, where 2 bedrooms will rent 3.84 million. Where they will rent 3.53 million. I think the minimum you will see, okay, is, let's just say maybe 2.5. The reason why houses are of that same category is that the moment you enter a Bramble you're like this, Beckham, you have seen the Mother and Child General Hospital, which is there. Going further, you see a Huando fuel station. You will see shopping malls. You will see eateries. You will see supermarkets. If you now go further towards, you are now going towards that Lagos Business School, there are cinemas, there are recreational center, and to even cap it all up, if you drive further down, okay, to the Ogumbo Axis of Abrandation, yeah, that's where you see your Barracuda Beach, your Artican Beach, your Life Deck Beach. These are recreational centers that people are. You see, all these things I mentioned, they are hotspots. So places where we have all these things, you don't need anybody to beg you to invest there. See, when you own properties there, you will be the one to determine what you want to rent. It's not, agents will not come and tell you, madam, this house, now 1.5 billion. You tell the agent, go to hell. I'm putting my property, my 2 bedroom, for 4 million. Whoever wants to rent it, and let me tell you, if that property is in, look at what is going on in Lekki Scheme 2 now. Security everywhere, surveillance everywhere, CCTV camera everywhere. No nuisance can go there and say, I want to do a wool. You won't even think of it. So these are the fundamental things. So in places where there are obvious signs of infrastructure, grab it. Don't even think so. So these are the major things. There are several other things as well. Look at Awoyaya. I still remember when I used to go towards that Awoyaya, that Orimbanwa, as far back as 2018, 2019. It pained me. It pained me. There was a particular man I met that wanted to pay his daughter's tuition, and that man offered me full plot of land, Gazette, in Orimbanwa, as at that time, for 4 million. As I'm making this video, as I'm saying it, it's still paining me till now that I didn't take that offer. The person that bought that place, if you see the edifice this person built on that property, I can assure you cannot charge anything less than 2.53 million for a 2-bedroom apartment in Orimbanwa. As at that time, there were no obvious signs that all these kind of things are coming there, but the moment development, see, the mistake any investor will want to do, is to undermine Lagos, is to underrate Lagos. See, whatever is happening in the north, happening in the south, we really sympathize with them. But don't, because of Nigeria's situation, I don't know if that statement is correct, don't base your choice of investment or your decision of investment based on what is happening. See, a lot of people that are undermining Lagos today, come 2050, today is 28th of January, you won't even be able, a lot of people will not be able to pay rent in Lagos again. Come 2050. 2050, a lot of people, and that's why you notice that all this neighboring Ijebu side of Epe, the Bejuleki, the Ogun State side of the Bejuleki, the Ijebu side of the Ketu Epe axis, a lot of people are running there now to buy land. If Lagos say you have to do this and do this, other states are offering us, because other states want us to come in and also develop so that it can be almost at the same developmental pace to what we have in Lagos. Those are the places that will pick up come 2050, come 2060. So what I'm saying, if you're watching this video, don't underrate Lagos, regardless of where you are in the world. Because as from 2050, 2070, a lot of people will not be able, even to pay rent, you won't be able to afford it in Lagos again. And that is why it is very important that you take this broadcast very important. Take it very important. Why do you think today prices are going up? Lagos has gotten to a place and to a situation whereby even it will take you for you to sacrifice or deprive yourself, okay, of some pleasure to own. This is me. I'm a landlord in Lagos. I have lands. I have landed properties in Lagos. I can tell you that when I was buying those properties, myself and my wife, we know how but we just knew that the best gift we can give our children, we can give ourselves, is real estate. With all these immigration issues in the US, Trump deporting a lot of people, a lot of crises. You know, a lot of people, I don't know why people trumpet and celebrate Nigerians' issues as if other nations of the world does not have their own challenges. Let us be factual. Where do we have in this world that they don't have challenges? Show me a place in this world. Okay, when that California wildfire happened now, assuming that thing happened in Nigeria, hey, the cause I would have gotten that day. You see, that's why we don't want to. See, it is very important that Yoruba will say, tending. If it is not yours, it is not yours. It doesn't matter how many years you are still in that country. No place can be like home. And with the level of development that is going on in Lagos, come 2050, 2045, God spare our life right to these days down. If you don't earn above 20 to 30 million, you'll be able to pay rent in Lagos. That is if you don't own. So the question now, or your focus now be, what can I do so that I can stay in Lagos in the future? It's when you start making investment. Now, Lagos properties are not cheap, but they are affordable. See, there is every property of everybody's pockets. And the longer you wait, the more expensive it becomes. So these are some of the things that you need to pay attention to. These are some of the things that you need to understand as we talk extensively on how to spot locations. Okay? Look at where we have banks. Look at where we have institutions. Look at where we have toll gates. Look at where government infrastructure. In fact, I know a real estate investor, and the man would just tell me, he said, Adejare, why did they do that road? I said, presently right now, the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road now has gotten to the Old Diomi area of Ibeju-Lekki. And the man asked me, how much did they sell land there? I said, I'll make inquiry. He said, please make that inquiry. I want to buy acres. But I said, but you know, Old Diomi is in Ogun State. He said, should be the coastal road past there. He said, that means I can stay in Ogun State and work in Lagos when they have constructed that. See, what many people don't understand, this is like a small gist. I honestly cannot guarantee, okay, if the present tenure of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will finish that coastal road. But one thing is very certain. You see, from Victoria Island to Ondo State, they will finish that road before Asiwaju Bola Ahmed complete it. If you see the rate at which they are rushing that road, I have a video where I'm going to be talking about that coastal road. I was there. We drove there. You know, when I was looking at, these are places that land was selling 750, 850. And my mouth, I was just doing, Those places that if you are going then, 2018, 2019, they don't be doing baga. We drove smoothly. See, from Eleko down to Odiomi, we drove and came back within 1 hour 45 minutes. And that 1 hour 45 minutes is even because of the fact that the driver is not fast. And before, if you are driving, it's the whole day because of the bad road. So this man told me, he said, okay, you have in Odiomi, Abi, C of O, file number. Okay. Help me make arrangement for acres. So I was asking, sir, you have a lot of, he said, I'm not buying for myself. I'm buying for my children. So that if that coastal road becomes functional, even when he has gone to be with the Lord, his children will be praying for him. So the mistake you don't want to make is to undermine Lagos. So I have to be very, very sincere. I have to be very, very open. Regardless of where you are across the world. See, don't carry Nigerian problem. Before we came to this world, Nigeria has had issues. Yoruba will say Kalaito died in Nigeria as an issue. Before the world has became, or after the world became, rather, let me use the word, Nigeria has issues. So whatever Wike is doing in Abuja, as long as it doesn't affect you, whatsoever thing that is happening, what we just know basically is that Nigeria will become one of the most traveled and desired nations. So don't look at the present, project into the future. So I'll be taking questions. I intend to finish this. I want to quickly apologize for starting way late. Like I said, my car was vandalized, so we are trying to get those parts that were vandalized to see if we can, buy them from the market and then fix them. So I'm going to look at that. So I'll just take a few questions before I call it a date. It's 1 hour already. Okay, so I'll just take 2 questions. Okay. So how do I study pattern of development and understand where to invest? Okay, when you talk about pattern of development, you want to look at number 1, how accessible is the location? It is very important. I've seen instances whereby, despite the fact that that road that government is doing, okay, that road that government is doing, that coastal road, that Lekki Epe road that Lagos State government is doing, there are still some places, okay, that once you drop at your bus stop, should I say this? Once you drop at your bus stop, you will still drive like 1 hour before you get to your apartment. This is where you need our service. Okay? Will that place develop? Yes, but do you want to wait till it's developed before you start earning your return on investment? So the pattern of development is that the road is good, is an access. You want to check and you also want to check the pattern of the lifestyle. More importantly, as a real estate investor, don't make decisions, okay, without understanding the security situation of that place. Yes, there are still some places, okay, in Lagos that they still practice all these rights. The Oshun rights is not they told me. I saw it with my eyes. They practice Oshun, they practice Oro, they practice masquerade. Okay? So you want to be rest assured that you are not going to stay near the next chief priest. So you want to look at that pattern of development. So what I will consider basically is that how rapid is that situation, or is that a development situation of that place, how rapid it is, how far is it from the main road, how far is it from major infrastructures like cinemas, like banks, like malls. These are some of the things that people put into consideration whenever they are renting. I hope that is clear. So I want to quickly say a very big thank you to everybody that have joined us. I've spent way beyond my time. I intended for this live broadcast to be just 1 hour, and I think I've used about 1 hour 3 minutes. Thank you very much for everybody that have joined us. I appreciate this. Thank you very much. Of course, I'm also working on a video. I have a lot of videos that I wanted to release, but you see that car that was vandalized, it really spoiled a lot of plan. I could not go to a lot of places, but we thank God the situation is gradually getting to we're gradually solving the problem, the situation, and of course hopefully we'll be back. So I have a lot of videos. I'm going to be releasing a video on the coastal road sharply, because maybe next week I have a lot of videos. So this is why you have to subscribe to us. Appreciate us by subscribing, sharing this video with your friends, and let them see the good work we are doing. Let them see the good work. Tell people about us. Please refer us. So you want to invest in Lagos? At least, I usually say it. I want to buy property that will not give me problem. We will face the problem on your behalf, so that when you are investing, you won't invest with somebody that will give you problem. I don't want to sound a little bit convincing, but what I meant by that is that we investigate, we identify the ones that will give you problem, and we avoid them, and we give you the ones that will stick to the terms of agreements, and of course the development agreement as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patronage, and for those who are buying from, if of course, we should be the one to handle your next property investment in Lagos. Thank you. God bless you. See you on Thursday by God's grace. On Thursday, okay, see you tomorrow on Wednesday. Tomorrow is 29th. So see you on Wednesday. We'll continue from this. Bye for now.